Right. Good evening, or good morning, or good afternoon, wherever you are. Thank you very much for joining us. We'd love to have as many friends join us on video as possible. While this is being streamed on YouTube, it's always very good to see faces. And as we share this topic today on sacred marriages, we'd love to have this be as interactive as possible, particularly here on Zoom. So thank you very much for joining us. And Sureshji, Gauravji, if you're all right, we can get started. And I'm going to invite as many friends to switch on their cameras as possible. So I wanted all of us friends to think about one word that comes to our mind when we think about marriage. So thank you. I can see some more friends joining. Welcome, Saurav, and thank you for switching on your camera. And Abhinand, thank you also for switching on the camera. We love it when people are on camera. So I wanted to thank you, Srilata. Excellent. The switching on of camera feels like the gift of your presence is fully received here. Being able to see people is a lovely gift. So I want us to just dwell on what comes to your mind. What is one word only that comes to your mind when you think about marriage? Don't worry about sacred marriage. The topic is sacred marriage. How many of us are married, by the way, here? By a show of hands. Oh, good. And how many of you are kind of wanting to get married? If you're not married, I mean, you'd like to get married. Okay, good. Wonderful. So what is the one word that comes to your mind when you think about marriage? Maybe you can put it in the chat box here. That'd be helpful. Yeah, balance. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Vinand says balance. Let's see, what else do we have? One word that comes to your mind when you think about marriage. Living together. Okay, thank you so much, Padma. Cherukuruji, thank you. Okay, Saurabh thinks marriage implies you're beyond understanding. Like you just know what the other person wants, and the other person knows what you want, and you can just be in mon all, and then but you communicate there's so much understanding. You're like beyond understanding. Beautiful. Excellent. So I think thank you, Ruxana, Saath or companionship. Beautiful. That is what marriage means for you. It is such an enlightened group of people in this group, because some people who are married for many years, they have different experiences that they relate. The moment we say marriage, they say stress. Oh, there is so much. They say, I don't think many many would say, all would say such beautiful things as all of you have shared. But I think from our childhood, we have heard a lot of things about marriage. I grew up in a Hindi-speaking family, and for those who understand Hindi, we often heard this expression that शादी ऐसा लड्डू है जो खाएगा वो भी पछताएगा और जो नहीं खाएगा वो भी पछताएगा. It is like you're going to regret it anyways, whether you get married or you don't get married. So you just get married, I mean, that was the, completely common. And then, among friends, this used to be there. I don't know how many of you actually experienced this. They would say, you are going to go to the slaughterhouse, like bakra katne wala hai. How many of you, among the male friends, probably you saw that more. But my dear friends, for all of us who are on this path, there is no better opportunity for evolution and for our spiritual growth than marriage. Marriages are sacred. Marriages are actually one of the best ways for us to realize who we are. And so I really wanted to use this time that we have today, not so much to share theory, but to share my own experience. I am now in the 21st year of my marriage, and I recently celebrated 20th anniversary and in January, and I was fortunate that we were able to take our vows again. On Zoom only, we were we got such amazing insights from Dr. Newton and Dr. Lakshmi. And as I look back at this 21-year journey of my own marriage, and friends who are joining on Zoom, warm welcome to you. Please switch on your cameras if you can. Give us the gift of your complete presence. And we'll make this very experiential. So, as I look back at this whole journey, I found that there was, for the first 10 years of our marriage, we thought it was a great marriage. It was beautiful. But we had not even, I had not even met Dr. Newton when I completed 10 years, by the time I completed 10 years. And I completely redefined the idea of marriage and what it holds. But to give you a little context, I got married on jeevansathi.com. Anybody has tried it? Or for your relatives, etc. And all I knew when I got married when I was 26 odd years. And all I knew was that I need to have companionship. I think, like Rukhsana ji has said, saath. But there was one other thing I knew, that whatever I want to do is for a lifetime. And there was this clarity. And then, while I thought it was all going great, the real magic of a marriage, the sacredness of a marriage, and the possibilities that marriage actually present only manifested in my life in the next 10 years. So the first 10 years and the next 10 years. Most of my life, and my wife, Dr. Preeti, is also here, and I will invite her to speak and introduce herself also. We just wanted to make sure whatever I'm saying, there is evidence for you. Otherwise, you'd say, there is something else there. But we always define our life as BN and AN. BN stands for before Newton and AN stands for after Newton. Like, you have BC and AC. For us, our life was always before Dr. Newton and after Dr. Newton. So I really defined the real beauty, even though it was a really solid, good, beautiful marriage in the first 10 years. The real potential that marriage is, the opportunity to actually experience nirvana and to experience oneness and to experience the divine. There is a beautiful Shah Rukh Khan, Anushka Sharma movie, Rab ne bana di jodi. And there is a song called Tujh mein Rab dikhta hai, meaning I see the divine in you. And so a lot of what we've heard and experienced about marriage is really by looking at our parents. And I want to share that for the most part, I saw a dysfunctional marriage at home. And for the most part, we don't have a model. Many other marriages that we see are dysfunctional in many ways. And so we actually just, whatever happened to us as children and what we observed with our parents, that becomes our model of marriage. For us, when we met Dr. Newton, Dr. Lakshmi, we were doing well, but then we had this next level model. And we all learn by watching rather than listening, by looking. When you see, we all need role models. We all need to be inspired. I was inspired by Jagjit Singh. I was inspired by Steve Jobs. I was inspired. So each one, I'm completely inspired by Dr. Newton and Dr. Lakshmi. So we need an inspiration with marriage as well. For us to discover the sacredness of marriage, we need inspiration. So today, what I intended to do was share some of my journey of 21 years of togetherness, and then also share with you the 7 sutras of a sacred marriage. And so I'm going to share a presentation with you very, very briefly. I will not keep the slides on too much, but the first thing was, and that we want to talk about, is we are in the Tinder generation now. Whether commitment and closing all the back doors is so important. The first step is, knowing that I am getting onto this journey and then I am committed to this journey, whatever happens. And in about 90% of the issues that happen actually are not issues with the partner, but they are issues with parents. And 80% of the marriages, it is believed, are actually karmic or past life related. Something happened and there is some unfinished business, and we are with this partner. It's a great opportunity to complete what needs to be completed and to evolve to the next level, to go from 5th grade to 6th grade, or to go from 10th grade to 12th grade. But we often lose this opportunity. So the first real personal experience for me was, I had been declaring to everybody that, I want to marry for 7 lifetimes. Even before I had done any of this spiritual work, etc. Or I said, I want to be married for 7 lifetimes. And that commitment is really helpful. And of course, that doesn't mean that we stay in a toxic marriage or, in an abusive marriage of any form. That's absolutely, not to be done. But there's definitely no point, I knew, even at that stage, of jumping around. So the first sutra for a sacred marriage is the commitment to self-work. We discovered through our own journeys that really this is about working on our own selves. I, for one, a lot of my issues or complaints were really coming from my own emptiness. The child who may have missed certain, whose needs were unmet, who got wounded, who got scared when I was 5 years old, when I was 7 years old, when I was 10 years old. All those fears, those incompletion, that void, that feeling of being unloved, that came from our parents or our growing up years, we carry into our marriage when we haven't really done this work, when we haven't really worked on ourselves. And we really come into a marriage as beggars. As, really beggars who are really wanting the other person to complete. How can I find a way for the other person to complete me? And, Osho had actually talked about marriages commonly are like 2 beggars coming together. And they coming together hoping that the other will fill their empty bowl, and both are empty. Only when we can love ourselves can we love and share love, we can share our love with someone else. So only when we are full can we share with the other. The other will otherwise keep triggering our unmet needs. So the first sutra really is commitment to self-work. Commitment to marriage is really a commitment to self-work. Commitment to actually not looking for the partner, clinging to the partner. Give me the love, give me the attention. Otherwise, it becomes very clingy. A lot of marriages you'll see is very clingy, a lot of expectations, disappointment, expectation, disappointment. Whatever in our partner bothers us, how do we feel when a need is not fulfilled? When did you feel like this before? You can ask that question. When did I feel like this before? When the partner is not giving you the attention or something's happening, you will find that you'll be able to track it down into your childhood. Whatever is happening here between the husband and the wife, you can actually see this person is not giving me, or I'm not receiving what I expected out of a marriage. You can actually track it down to your childhood. So the most important work, commitment to self-work, was also commitment to do inner child work. We always, Dr. Newton, Dr. Lakshmi always say, you have to, that is the one essential area of work that everyone needs, which is to heal their inner child. Otherwise, we are little children in adult bodies, wounded, with all kinds of expectations that this partner will fulfill what my parents could not do. Now this partner is going to do. And the partner can never fulfill what our parents, what we had wanted from our parents, or, the feeling, any kind of rejection we experienced, etc. The second sutra, and we can carry this as you are making notes, I can see many friends are, is that we are complete within ourselves. Marriage is not a tool to complete us, that I am incomplete and marriage will complete me. And this is another beautiful lesson for all of us, that we are just planting ourselves in a relationship, but we need to keep going within ourselves. We need to go deeper and deeper and deeper within our roots. And that's when we can rise higher and higher and higher in a marriage. The tree, commitment to marriage, which is the first sutra, which is the first idea I shared, is really like saying, think about yourself as a tree. A tree grows higher as the roots can go deeper in that one place. If it is shifted from one place to another, it can't grow deep. You're only going to have shrubs. You want a coconut tree, you just need to be there. So a lot of relationships, we go from one relationship to the other, to the other, to the other. It's really not going deeper. Such is often the case with us. We can grow to the heights, and that's why we said sacred marriage, because you can actually have nirvana experience. If you can have that oneness experience. Our heart's desire, our greatest calling is to experience that oneness, to connect again with that source, to connect with that divine. That is really this whole deepest desire. Even though you're thinking you want BMW, or you want a bigger house, or you want a foreign trip, the greater desire is to go, to connect with that source. And when we go deeper, look deeper in that relationship, we are able to do that. So knowing that we are born whole and complete as divine beings, infinitely creative, unconditionally loving, that's who we are. We somewhere lost the wonder, lost that unconditional love, lost the optimism, lost the ability to let go along the way. But who we are complete. When we use our partner as a means to complete us, too much pressure, my dear friends. If Saurabh says my partner will complete me, or Padmaji says that my partner will complete, is too much pressure on the partner. Now I have to, anyways, I have my own challenge. I have to work on myself, but now I will also have to. So we look at this sutra carefully. And really what we are talking about is our inner masculine and feminine. I realized that I was denying my feminine qualities. Each one of us, male or female, has both masculine and feminine qualities. And at a deeper level, a sacred marriage is this inner union, this inner completion, that we experience. So I will give you an example. I had this idea that I always have to be strong, that I cannot have tears, that I cannot, that being vulnerable was being weak. And I was, in a way, I resisted it. And actually, the most beautiful experiences in our life come through when we fully embrace our feminine, both men and women. Because we live in such a masculine, patriarchal society, which is born out of a deep inferiority complex that men ended up having, maybe at the very origins of our existence, because women could do what men could not, which is to hold a baby for 9 months, to give birth. That's the ultimate creation. And what did that need? That needed trust, that needed patience, that needed unconditional love, that needed, just holding the space, that needed being vulnerable. And all of these qualities of trust, patience, unconditional love, being vulnerable, these are beautiful qualities. These were the feminine qualities that I had disowned. And my marriage and my whole experience began to get more and more beautiful as I fully embraced the feminine. And so completion in many ways is also, or experiencing that oneness is also fully embracing our inner feminine, which is very, very important, and our inner masculine. Sometimes it is something that is very, very difficult for some women to actually have a voice. They need to embrace their masculine a little bit. They need to set some nurturing boundaries. And for that, they need to. So there is a purpose. While the woman, the feminine and the masculine, both are integral parts of oneness. And each one of the partners, the man and the woman in a partnership, have to fully embrace their masculine and feminine. And that is when we are really in a sacred marriage, when each partner is actually embraced their feminine and masculine. The next one, the third sutra, is that relationships are sacred mirrors. That, we are really, whatever is happening to us, if we feel that I'm not good enough, if I feel I'm not good enough, that is my inner conversation, then people outside will also not see us as good enough. If I feel this is not going to happen, then very likely. So whatever we are seeing ourselves as, or whatever we judge, or whatever may have happened, you have several different mirrors. There are 7 Essene mirrors, and you can learn about that. There are many QLU sessions on the mirrors. But relationships, marriage is actually a sacred mirror. There have been examples where people are struggling in their present life, in their marriage, and they are mirroring something from their past life. They are struggling in their present life. They are mirroring something from when they were a child. So there is an inner child mirror. There is a past life mirror. There is a mirror with your mother and father. We are often mama's boys and daddy's girls trying to get into a relationship. You know what happens when mama's boys and daddy's girls come into a relationship? They aren't really seeking for a partner. They're looking for their mom and dad. They are really not ready for a relationship. They are essentially mirroring all that happened when they were children with their partner. And so our own perception of ourselves, our relationship with our parents, what we may have experienced, the relationship is a sacred mirror. The moment we stop blaming and we acknowledge that we are reflecting back whatever our internal state, we are now in a beautiful space. So we can all do some work and read up about the 7 Essene mirrors. But today we can do a little process. So many times we are bringing in a relationship, even at work or in another relationship with a friend, etc., we often bring our unconscious behaviors related to desperation, neediness. We are very needy. You can see sometimes you get drained in a relationship because the other person is needy. But we can do this process, all of us, friends. I just like you to analyze a few situations in your life where you projected a desperate and neediness energy onto others. And if anybody would like to share, you can share that in the chat box, or we can even unmute and share on Zoom of whoever is helping out with this session. And yes, wonderful. Mohitji, warm welcome to you. And we'd love for you to switch on your camera if you can. Well, yes, I can see you. You will be the first to share, but we'll give just a few more seconds for everybody to analyze this. When did we reflect back, where did we feel? Analyze a few situations in life where you projected this, where it reflected back, where our own desperation and neediness energy we projected onto others. Yes, Mohitji, please go ahead.
You are asking to share the examples of, let's say, means whichever area of life, like for an example, if I have shown that energy in my work life also?
No, in relationships. In relationships. And ideally, since today we are talking about sacred marriages, we would like you to share.
Yes, many a times. I have, I had shown that continuously, many times.
Yeah.
So, I was always in a need. Asking for things, demanding for things to be get done. And that need had actually put me in a very weak place, because I was the needy one. No. So I was the weaker one.
Yeah. So, Padmaji has asked if I can give one example. I will give you my own example. In the first 10 years of my marriage, before we met Dr. Newton, and so I said 10 years, first 10 years and the next 10 years very distinctly. What happened was, I had this idea that my wife, I want to have a partner, I want a companion, my wife, my need for a wife, my need for a companion, my need for a partner. And I did not even realize this. We had a pretty solid married life, but I realized that at an unconscious level, and even consciously many times, I had taken away the freedom of my partner and my own freedom in any ways, because I was possessing. And my partner, for those who know her, is like a flower whose fragrance is for everyone. So I was trying to really say, no, this is my partner. My need, I want to have my own, it's just the two of us, everything. We're almost that desperation and need to have your own, this one special one for you, only for you. That kind of unconscious pattern, I was able to recognize. And I was projecting it in different ways. And when I recognized it, I was able to turn around. The freedom and the joy that we experience when we are able to drop that, when we are able to stop, when it is not about my wife anymore, it is not about my partner, it is not about, it is just finding completion and experiencing being with her, which is so beautiful without needing to possess. You can actually fly in so many directions, disagree with so much joy sometimes, and it's a much better state of being. So Padmaji, if that helps in any way, hopefully, to give you an example, but we can all reflect on this. I think I would let you reflect on this. I'm not seeing any other hand raised, so I'm going to go on to the fourth sutra. Okay, Priyanka ji, warm welcome to you. Thank you for joining us. You can switch on your camera and ask your question.
Hi, sir. How are you?
Good, good, good. Thank you. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So, sir, my question is that, at times when you become a parent to your parent, how much is it possible that before your partner asking in a relationship, you're already doing a lot of things for them?
Yeah, absolutely. So many times we become so big, and we are looking after our parents, and it's almost like we also start seeking a partner who we want to look after. So it is not an equal relationship. There is you are not looking for a partner, you are looking for someone to take care of. And then after some time, you get drained of all your energy taking care of the other person, and the relationship becomes dysfunctional because there is a lack of balance in giving and receiving. Throughout my childhood, I always saw one crisis after the other. Every day was a crisis. So I was only, and I thought that my whole notion was that women have to be protected.
Yeah.
So till a very, because I thought my mother had to be protected in many ways, I did not understand, my father and my mother's relationship. So as a child, I thought my mother is to be protected. So I could never really even get into have any kind of relationship, let alone marriage, because my idea was that women are to be protected. And whenever I saw, they would say, "Ke, I was unconsciously looking for any woman who is in trouble to protect." Now, this is going to be dysfunctional. So whatever those patterns, when we recognize, Priyanka ji, we are able to actually then set ourselves on the path to a sacred union, a sacred marriage. So thank you for bringing that up.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Because I remember long back, I mean, when I was in my college day, I was in a relationship, and within 3 months of my relationship, I realized that I'm being a parent to my partner. But during those days, the issues were something else. So I kept on going with that relationship for a long period of time, thinking that I'll marry this person and then I'll divorce him and I'll just have a proof that, okay, for my parents, I've married, I've fulfilled your purpose of marriage, and now I have my own life. But luckily, I was blessed enough that I realized and got my lessons soon, and I could get out of it. So,
All right.
yeah.
Thank you for sharing.
Thank
So,
you, sir.
friends, we'll go to the fourth sutra. We want to also do a meditation today. So we'll complete the theory and then we go into the meditation. We'll take some questions also. The fourth sutra is love, respect, and freedom. I already gave an example. We said the first sutra was commitment to self-work. Self-work will also lead to self-love. And when I am full, when I love myself, when I respect myself, I'm able to also share that. And it is so important to have this in a relationship. Marriage is a relationship of equals. If we feel that the masculine is superior and the feminine is inferior, or the feminine is superior and the masculine is inferior, and we have not embraced, and we gave that principle also of being complete, it's going to be difficult to find love, respect, and freedom in a marriage. So the fourth sutra is, we really, it follows from the first three sutras, is that love, respect, and freedom is the basis. The moment you know that now I am in this beautiful sacred marriage and I'm actually experiencing all of these three in my life, and this is this is not out of desperation. This love is not that neediness. Oh, essentially when we do self-work, we are doing inner child work. We are putting a bottom on the bottomless pit, which was a void inside us, where we are constantly beggars. We are needing everything from others. Give me love, give me respect, give me attention. We're putting a bottom on that bottomless pit. Otherwise, we get into a marriage like black holes in physics. I don't know if you know, everything gets sucked in. And the more you give, so there's a beautiful balance. Somebody, I think, very wonderfully right at the start today, actually talked about, I think Abhinand talked about balance. And I think he really summarized the whole session in one word, that you actually find that balance. So that is the fourth sutra. The fifth sutra is the sutra of unconditional acceptance of your partner and parents. So many times, people go for a date, or they are going out looking for a partner, and they say, I don't care about the parents. I am getting married to this person. How many of you actually experienced or heard those conversations? I don't care about your family and other things, etc. The reality is, that in most cases, unless we have healed the past, unless we have fully worked on ourselves, there are literally 6 people in the marriage. The husband, the wife, parents on both sides of the husband, and parents on both sides. So parents of the husband and parents of the wife. They're all in the marriage because we have not had healthy separation there. Mama's boys and daddy's girls, and all kinds of khichdi that is happening. So, and a lot of it is a function of, no, I want the partner, but I don't want to have anything to do with the parents and the rest of the family. Hello, your partner is born out of the parents. Your wife or your husband is half his or her mother and half his or her father. By rejecting the parents, we are actually rejecting our partner. Because, the partner is coming from the parent. So, unconditional acceptance of the partner and the parents of the partner, very, very important. And I'll take some questions. We'll take some questions, friends, on this. But so many times dysfunction in a marriage comes because of a lack of acceptance of the family. We say acceptance just the way they are. The secret of love is to agree to everything as it is. What I discovered was, once I accepted, out of that love, things evolve. Because in many ways, we are trying to find the courage to be different from our parents. Out of blind love, we often become just like our parents. And any kind of, this marriage is when you go out of this nest which you belong to. You have a sense of belonging in this family. There is another nest in which the other partner comes from. You go out of your respective nests where you have a very strong sense of belonging. A community, there's a very strong sense. You go out and you create your own nest. And this nest could be different from the nest that we came from. We could have the courage to be different if we were able to accept fully everything as it is with our partners and the families. And that is the secret of love. Actually finding the divine. Saying yes to each other as they are. Saying yes to the in-laws as they are. Yes. Yes. I don't like this. No, I will not come here. I will not do this. No, this is wrong. There's too much no. We are then really not evolving. We have actually stopped the flow of love in many ways. So this is very important, my dear friends. The sutra is the sutra of unconditional acceptance of your partner and parents, accepting everything as it is, saying yes to each other as they are, saying yes to the in-laws. That's when you can actually be at peace in your own nest. You're not entangled with the other nests, and you can evolve and grow. So 4 steps here, sacred marriages. Yes to each other's family. Respect, love and freedom. That is key, freedom. The moment it's my husband, my wife, my partner, I should be the priority, then the freedom is gone. We really acknowledge that. Commitment, no backdoor to be left open. Deciding that I will go deeper within myself, self-work. If challenges come in a relationship, I reflect. I see what am I mirroring? Why is this coming up? Every time I point a finger like this, I know 3 fingers are pointing back towards me. It's so important to ground ourselves. We're not going to, so many times, even in lifetime after lifetime, we don't learn the lesson. We have to come back 7 lifetimes to actually learn one simple lesson. So commitment is very important for a sacred marriage. And finally, mama's boys and daddy's girls, boys who have healed their relationship also with we talked about that, but boys who have healed their relationship with their father and girls with their mother. This work is done when we do inner child work. In the first 7 years, we are significantly under the influence of our mothers. We are literally connected. First 9 months, we are in the womb. We are energetically connected. We are with our mother. And boys then actually go into the energetic space with their father, where they learn to be a man. Women will continue with their mothers. So it's so important that we fully embrace who we are. We fully embrace our parents. The more we take in our parents, it's like fully taking in our parents, the more ready we are for marriage. So last process and last slide, before we go into the meditation and do some Q&A. We can list your dislikes about the following people in your life. You can just do that. This exercise was also to help us identify certain patterns, certain, how we are attracting certain things in our life. But you can just do that. This will help us. So you can write down, what do you dislike about yourself? What do you dislike about your parents, about your spouse or your partner or your friend? Wonderful. Yeah, sorry, I think I may have wrongly shared 7 sutras. We are only 5 sutras. The number 7 came out instead of 5. So I was just sharing 5 sutras today. Thank you, Gaurav, for reminding. Okay, you can keep this with you. And I'm just now going to go in and see if there are some questions. Rushali says, I'm a single woman wanting to experience a sacred marriage. but fear that my health issues might intimidate the potential partner. So how to deal with that? Yeah. Yes, everybody can do this meditation. There is an inner marriage, an inner union that we can also experience. The union of the feminine and the masculine within us. And you can apply some of the learnings with the mirrors, sacred mirrors. You can apply those learnings with, with in all different relationships. So please join us. Everybody can join the meditation. Vrushali ji, are you here? Can we work on this? On your question, do you want to switch on your camera and come through so we can dwell a little bit more? Are you here, Vrushali ji? Okay. It would have been my health issues. So, I think it is important that you do self-work, that very first sutra, and see what the health issues are trying to tell you. Dr. Newton often says that all illness is a teacher, is a great teacher. Whatever those lessons that need to be learned from your ill health, if you can learn them, if you can do the self-work, do inner child work, heal some of those childhood wounds, you are putting yourself in a position to then, or you become open to finding the right partner. I'm seeing, I'm going to let other people who'd like to ask a question. If you want to raise your hand and Zoom hand. Anybody else has a question? Anything you'd like to share? Any experience? Preeti, you want to share something? Warm welcome. Yes, Priyanka, please go ahead and switch on your camera also. Yes.
So my question is like, when you've really worked on yourself well, you always tend to see the red flags before going ahead with anyone. So that red flag stops you from getting into a relationship. What do you do then?
Yeah, the ideal world scenario is that, both partners have done self-work, and, marriage is a deep spiritual friendship actually. When both of them are moving inwards, then it can be very beautiful. So that's why, that's advisable. But even if one partner has done inner work, then, you aren't going in there trying constantly to change the other person, and there is greater acceptance, etc. So you have to trust your wisdom, and, with the understanding that you've had from your journey, you can make the choice. Yes, Saurabh ji, please go ahead. Thank you, Priyanka. Yeah,
yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hello. Namaste, Ganesh ji, and namaste to everyone. I don't know why I'm asking this question, but all I know, I have to ask this question. It has to do with sexual satisfaction in a relationship. in my personal experience, at a very young age, I got exposed to sexuality at the age of 4 or something like that, and I didn't know what was happening. It was a great confusion in my mind. And the woman was like around 12 or 13 years of age. Probably she must be getting it from somewhere, whatever it is. That created a deep curiosity at a very young age. And any relationship, the first point was that, no, you got to have sex. So, that's how it starts. Looking at porn movies and all of this, it created so much of thing in the head that, a relationship is about having sex. And when you hear parents, friends, or at times parents fighting a lot, and sometimes they would have jokes, and you get it because you are young and you know everything, okay, what they are talking about, and in general in society, it's very common to hear. I don't know, but at the end of the day, when that level is not cleared up, it creates a lot of, let's say, the other bases are not climbed when that one base is not cleared. So doing my inner child, family constellation, meditation, guidance under Hitesh and even Newton G, I just finished my PLR. So I got a lot of insights and working for over like 3.5 years. And I personally, I realized a lot of facts about myself. I was able to see. I realized I cannot blame anyone. I have to work in myself. I don't know about the marriage, but this is a case which is very common, to be very clear, in many marriages, where either women are not sexually satisfied or men are seeking sex outside. And there is a lot going on because of this one aspect on a major level. What do you have to say about this?
Yeah.
And from personal experience, I'm telling you,
No, that's why Tinder is doing so much business. Firstly, this is a very natural, existential force, which this energy is a force that is there in every species to to grow itself, to survive. This is a divine force. What you are talking about, the sexual energy, etc. But we as human beings have a certain potential, which this is a means. You also to experience. You can experience the divine, but the challenge is when there isn't enough work that is done on. So absolutely right. I mean, if you see, when there is suppression of this energy, the sexual energy, which is what happened for very long periods in our existence, right? You will see perversion. You will see that it comes out in very ugly ways. In fact, Osho had talked about this a lot, that whatever you do, when you suppress this is a nature's force. Just like hunger is you need to survive. Nature has created this force so that we can continue to exist, right? Our species survives. But when you suppress it, etc., which happened for a very long time, when you create shame around it, then what you also have is perversion. So we have gone from one extreme to the other. We are essentially oscillating. And this need is also somewhere a need for love, a need for attention, a need, when a child has experienced a healthy period with parents, when the child has actually had all their needs met, they are unlikely to fall into this situation. So whatever you shared with when you were 4 years old, somewhere at that moment, there maybe have been some violation, etc. And that is really very, very traumatic for the child. And then that child really sees this particular area in life from a very different perspective. So all I can say is that is not actually bringing them peace. Even if they are changing partners, doing whatever, that is only, very shallow. And those who have been through that journey, they will tell you that, yeah, this is really shallow. I just kept going from here to there. In fact, we need to go back and heal what we need to heal on. Where is that coming from? It is often coming from the need to feel wanted, the need to feel loved. The child's very fundamental need when the child is born is the need for touch. If the child has not received enough physical touch, hugs, when he was 6 months old, 1 year old, 2 years old, the child could grow up in whatever form, even when it is unhealthy, seeking this touch in different ways. So I think it's really important to do self-work. The solution is to heal the wounds that we need to heal as our children. And thank you for being courageous enough to share this, and also for being honest enough to share this. And it is work in progress. That same energy that is being pushed down. Today, when we do the meditation, we'll come to the heart center. We'll focus on the heart center. This is actually the same survival energy, the very primitive energy, sexual energy is in the lower chakras. And you can actually transmute that, and that same energy, Osho's book was Sambhog Se Samadhi Tak, or, which was really transmuting that energy into connecting with the divine. You become one with the source. So you go up, from the lower chakras up into the heart chakra and beyond, and then into the Sahasrara. So this is a journey, and thank you for sharing, and keep doing the self-work. The answers will come, and you're already doing that, Saurabh. So, and there's nothing wrong with sex. There is nothing to be ashamed about. It's a natural human expression. But when it becomes wrong is when you are like, there is an unhealthy addiction to it. When there is an unhealthy addiction to anything, it's like drugs, it's like alcohol, it's like coffee, unhealthy addiction, it's like unhealthy addiction to news. Anything that is unhealthy, which becomes an addiction, which kind of starts to control you, that's an issue. So thank you for sharing that. Abhinand, your question next.
So just a small thing, Ganeshji, just a small thing. So can people use spirituality as a bypass, or trying to be a sadhu or a sadhani, and then so-called meditation, but suppressing the energy and then messing themselves up, and then having a judgment, oh, ye to aisa hai, wo to aisa hai, ye to aisi hai, wo to aisa hai. Guys, girls doing that to each other. They say sex to kharab hai, sex to aisa hai, sex to aisa hai. Once I had a conversation with my mom and dad, and I clearly told them, if you guys are not satisfied, go date outside.
Yeah, and I think that's also violating the boundary and breaching the boundary.
Yeah.
It's none of your business.
I know, I realize that.
It's none of your business as a child to tell what your parents what to do. But I think you are absolutely right, Saurabh, that this suppression results in that perversion. Then you have abuse of children, you have abuse, these. So it is very important to acknowledge that this is not nature's way. Suppression is not nature's way. Nature's way, at a certain age, the hormones and all of that, they are actually, when you have a healthy evolution, then you're fine. And so we have been made to feel guilty and shameful around this subject.
We have been grown.
Guilt and shame is what makes us So I think you have to really reconcile, do that inner work. And when we are over this, we will also then not become addicts. So what has happened is we have gone from, suppression, shaming, guilt around it, to now addiction to sex. Now, wherever, Tinder, whatever else, the whole, looking for partners here, there, everywhere. So I think we need, none of that, those extremes are good. There is a healthy middle. There is a balance. And so that's what we need to find. Yes, Abhinand. We must do the meditation now because we will go out of. Yes, you're the last one, Abhinand, to share.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for letting me ask my question. So, sir, I have like you mentioned that boys have to heal their relationship with their father, and girls have to heal their relationship with their mother. So I've been the opposite. So I've rejected my masculine for a very long time because of how my family situation at my childhood was. So over the past 1 year, I've been getting closer to my dad, and I've been working on the relationship. So my question is, how do I know, like maybe completion is a very strong word to, to find that, but how do I know I'm good enough to, okay, I've healed it to a certain extent and I can move ahead, or what is the measure for here to understand the relationship is good enough for now?
Yeah, very difficult to say, but I think you know it generally. Broadly, you are talking about a relationship with a potential partner. Is that right, Abhinay?
Yes. Before entering a marriage, like how do I know my relationship with my father has healed to a certain extent, at least a good enough state I can think about marriage?
Yeah, I think if you are doing this inner child work already, and even family constellation and all of that work, it will never be complete, my dear. Don't wait, otherwise you may be 60 or 70 by the time you get married or ready for marriage, because you say, oh, what happened? It's not happening. It's not. But even when you've begun the journey and you've gotten past a few layers, it's ongoing work. I mean, it is ongoing work. This is a journey, but once you're on the path, then you are less likely to project and, onto other people. I think that's very important. We have to actually change our beliefs, right? We get a lot of our beliefs, like Saurabh was sharing. It is actually his belief that love means sex. This is his belief. This belief, when he is able to change this perception internally, and this is perfectly fine. Sex is perfectly fine. But the belief that love means sex could be possibly something that he needs to change. So it's a journey when or there is no love without sex, or there is no sex, whatever your belief. Similarly, I think you're also believe that I have to be fully healed with my father before I get married, etc. So it's good that you are on that journey, but do as much as you can, and trust your, when it's happening, when we are ready. So it will happen. I can almost feel energetically you are getting there if you are not already there. So thank you for sharing, Abhinand.
Thank you so much.
Excellent. Yeah, there's a question from Radha, says, what do I have to do if my husband doesn't want to stay with me, but I want to stay with him? Yeah, you need to, Radha, if you're doing the work, you can go, look, what is it, that's happening here. We only can work on our own selves. So you have to see, what are those needs that you have where, you are in that relationship? What are the needs? What are the fears that you have? When in the past has it happened, when you had in your childhood or in your early life, that this kind of a situation had happened, that you wanted to be with someone and that person did not want to be with you, in school, in college, whenever else, friendship. So some work can be done on this, Radha, to see what the roots are. And it's very likely that it is coming from a past life also. So, you may have want to we regress not just to the childhood, but many of these things also could come from the past life. And like we said, 80% of marriages have some past life connection. We are learning some lessons from the past, etc. So yeah, we want to do that. Are we ready, friends, for a meditation? We'll be completely over time, and Gaurav ji will be saying, what are you doing? And QLU, my friend Suresh, will say you have overshot already. So yeah, Radha ji, that is also huge trauma for the child. The child doesn't understand the logic when the father is lost at the age of 6 or 7 years old. You are, so you can look at that. You can do some work, maybe take a session, a therapy session, and we'll do a short meditation, my dear friends. So we can all close our eyes. I'm going to request Suresh ji from QLU to see if he can play some music, or Gaurav, I don't know how we've been doing it for the other meditation class. Yeah, we'll keep it to about 10 or 12 minutes. So 6:30 we are supposed to end. So we'll keep it for that. Okay. So looks like we don't have music here. We can close our eyes, friends, and just bring our attention to our breath. You can interlock your fingers, sit comfortably with a erect spine, watching the incoming and outgoing breath. Breathing in, I watch my breath. Breathing out, I watch my breath. Being more and more relaxed with every incoming and outgoing breath. The gap between the incoming and outgoing breath. Feeling the breath on your upper lip, the edges of your nostril. Becoming so aware, so present As I go, count from 3 to 1. We multiply by 10 this state of relaxation and inner silence, this state of awareness. Multiplied by 10. 3, 2, 1. Watching the breath. Incoming and outgoing breath. And now, I want you to connect with your heart center. Just breathing into the heart space, into the heart chakra. Connecting with the heart chakra, breathing into the heart space. Being so present, so aware. Raising your energy. The lower chakras into your heart chakra. Now, you can visualize a pink ball of energy just in front of you, right in front of you. A pink ball, energy ball, and visualize yourself and your current partner or your potential future partner. Visualize yourself and your partner in this ball of energy. You can also visualize the feminine and the masculine in this ball of energy. Your inner feminine and inner masculine for those who are single. For all the others, can visualize your partner and yourself Now sending all the love with every breath. You're sending in all the love, all the acceptance. We're actually breathing in love and acceptance and sending that energy into this ball, visualizing this energy flow from your heart center into this ball. The energy of love and acceptance. Now, just move this ball of energy closer and closer to yourself. And until it merges into your heart. Let this energy ball merge into your heart, filled with love and acceptance for your partner, your potential partner, the feminine and the masculine. Yes. Keep breathing into the heart space. Watching every incoming and outgoing breath. Watching your breath. 2 more minutes. Altering this inner picture of relationships. A picture is what we create from. We create our reality, our marriage, from this inner picture. Last 30 seconds. with this new picture, with this oneness, with all the love and acceptance. Fully embracing your partner just the way they are. You can slowly return back to this present moment. Rub your palms and cup your eyes. Whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. Thank you very much. Mohitji, you have a question or you'd like to share something? Yes, please.
I have a very important question, which this question came in my mind while meditation, and I thought before you end the class, I should ask this.
Yes.
Because we're talking about sacred marriage, I actually want to know the right order, sequence wise, amongst husband's parents, wife's parents, husband and wife, and children. So, two parents, the couple, and the children. What is the right order, right sequence, priority wise, importance wise, respect wise, all whatsoever wise? What is the right order? What is the right sequence?
Yeah. You should do work on family constellation a little bit. Essentially, order is critical for balance and for flow of love. Love flows when the order is right. When the child becomes too big, becomes bigger than the parent, or the child takes the place of one parent with the other parent, the flow of love is disrupted. The order is grandparents, parents, self, your children, and it is like a, it's like a waterfall.
No, but you have missed one thing where I have put husband's parents and wife's parents also.
Yeah, they have their own lineage that they come. So when there is completion, when that order is respected, and when the wife has fully taken the strengths from her parents, the husband has fully taken all the strengths, have taken their rightful place as their children, that's when they are ready to be in this union. But these are two different lineages that come and combine. That's what we talked about. This is one nest, another nest. You come here together. So today's class, this is this is a much longer conversation, but you can read Bert Hellinger's book, Love's Hidden Symmetry, or you can read about family constellation and transgenerational healing, Mohit. You will get a sense of, the order. From a marriage standpoint, it is important to honor and fully accept each other's parents, because that is really what it is. It is about accepting and honoring each other's parents, and also about serving your parents as their child, not as their partner or their parent. That you, even though your parents will get old, you will serve them, you do it in your capacity as their child. So it's very important. If you can, when you fully accept your parents, you can also be different from them. There was a time when I resisted my father's anger and my mother's sadness. my father carried a lot of anger. He was, he was part of the process during partition, and he had a very traumatic childhood. He grew up to be a very angry individual. My mother had a handicap, and she grew up with a lot of difficulties, and she suffered a lot in her life, and she was very sad. And I, instead of being their child, I was trying to be the protector to my mother, and really, I wasn't really the child. And I unconsciously carried that, because I could not be the child, or I in some way rejected what was coming, what was there. I unconsciously carried the anger and the sadness. And when I fully accepted my parents just the way they are, I accepted their life journey, their story, their own in my heart. It's not about physically going and saying anything to anybody, but fully accepting them, taking them in my heart. I was able to take all the strength from them. Father gives you the strength to deal with the outside world. Mother gives you the strength to deal with the inside world. Mother represents the inner world, your ability to meditate, your ability to reflect, your ability to deal with your emotions. All that strength comes from your mother. And all your strength around work, doing projects outside, in your job, going out. So we take all the strengths, we become their little children, and then we can say, I can be different from you. I don't need to be sad, dear mom. I choose to be different from you. Please bless me. I tell my dad, Dad, I love you. Thank you for giving me the gift of life. But I now choose not to be angry. And that's when I can now go to my wife without that sadness and that anger and be in that relationship. Similarly, she will do some work with her parents and come back whole and complete in herself, and then we can create something beautiful with each other. So Mohit, this is a little bit longish exercise and more work. And we have completely run out of time.
But
It is not. Yes.
But
Yes,
if you
Mohit.
allow, I have reiterated my question to you in chat just now, because I have not been able to explain it. So if you can just see the chat.
Yeah, you don't have to prioritize your parents, my dear. It is none of your business to prioritize which parent, who should be our priority. You equally give their equal priority. You don't have to prioritize. Each one will. So you will prioritize, or I wouldn't say prioritize, but your primary responsibility or your primary focus is to draw the strengths with your parents, from your parents. That's your lineage. Your wife will draw the strengths from her parents. But as a couple, you can look after, or you can be there for each set of parents based on their need. It is not that you have to have a formula saying 3 days I will be with this set of parent, 3 days with this set of parent, 1 day I will be by myself. No, you go by the need, dear Mohit. You just figure out what is the need, where is the need, and it should be done from the heart without too much calculation and analytics. That you are honoring both sets of parents, and you always honor them as the son-in-law, and she honors them as a daughter-in-law, because your parents are your own parents, and then you are honoring your in-laws just as your in-laws. So it's beautiful what you have shared and asked. Okay, I think we're completely run out of time. Yeah. more work, friends. Inner child workshop is very important for everybody, every school teacher, every person getting married, every person having children, every human beings. Saurabh has been working on himself so much and has, you can see Abhinand and all the others. They are, the more we can do this inner work, this is deeper work. Meditation is helpful, very important. It is critical. But at the same time, we do this inner work. We are very grateful for the opportunity that Dr. Newton, Dr. Lakshmi have provided Preeti, my wife, and I to be able to conduct some workshops. So we will be conducting the Inner Child workshop here in Mumbai next month on the 29th and 30th of July. This is where we live. So if you are in the vicinity or in the city and would want to do that, you're welcome to do that. But there are many workshops offered by QLU trainers, by Dr. Newton and Dr. Lakshmi themselves. And you can look up the details on the website and see whatever is nearest, closest to you. You can do some of this inner work. It's liberating. And I want to say thank you for spending your Sunday evening with us. And we will hope to that our paths cross again soon. Thank you, dear friends. Thank you. Bye.